I'm very happy to have you all back today, and especially happy that we're such a good group, big group, kind of a reunion today. And I look forward to hearing from some of you or anyone that wishes to participate with some feedback a bit later on about how it feels to be between age 70 and 77. What is it like? For me, this is a mystery, and only theoretically I have been looking at the astrological signatures of a few things, following my logic of what I have been trying to present to you so far in the last almost a year as a system, as a cycle that I think presents certain lessons that we all need to learn in those ages. The astrological transits are leading us there, they're showing us the way. And this is also an attempt to try to read the same old stuff that we have been looking at before from a new perspective, from the perspective of the astrology of cycles. That part of astrology which I believe is so neglected, but so valuable, because if we take the symbology of the zodiac, for example, as a cycle with all the signs following one another in a very particular, non-random way, where they build onto a theme, they build onto a journey, we can already start guessing at every moment of that journey what we are expecting to witness and what sort of thing we need to concentrate on in our own personal lives as a particular topic that is accentuated, spotlighted. Not that anything else is not important at the same time, but this particular thing becomes the theme of the times of this period. And very, very briefly, just to see what is very logical to get to today. The sign Aquarius is associated with everything that we can, call that way if we count from 1 to 12 and we get to the 11th step, to the 11th stage of something, of any cycle, a life cycle, or whatever else you decide to look at. And whatever you can think of as, keywords, stuff that we have discussed before as well on the Aquarian team, will be part of what age 70 to 77 really evokes for everybody that is lucky enough to get to that stage of life. And at the same time, if you have been following this so far, you know that I'm getting my attention to a particular planet every time, but there will be no planets this time because we just run out of them. We did 10 meetings in which there was, for each one of the known and used in modern Western astrology planets, there was a time when we focused on it. But today I'm doing something a bit different, and I hope to convince you why I believe this particular signature in the birth chart of this thing is something of a clue that you can also use as a tool to navigate your time in this 11th step of life. Why 11th? Because it goes 7 years every time. We started from birth and these were our steps, 7 years every time. And let's see what we have today. I don't know how many of you are actually following the progress moon or pay attention to it in your day-to-day astrological navigation. When you're checking transits, progressions, and all sorts of stuff, do you concentrate on the progress moon? Do you follow yours? Do you even check the Sabian symbol? I'm sure Dwayne does it, but I'm not sure if most of you are accustomed to using that as a tool. If you have been, or if you're willing to begin experimenting with that, I suggest that it will be the thing that will make a huge difference if someone is to get to that very significant age of 70. Why? Because during the course of our life, the progress moon is what points to the progressive, gradual development of our emotional maturity. We go through all sorts of different external experiences that get reflected in our internal processes. And everything touches us personally at the end of the day in a very specific way that on the one hand is determined by our natal moon, its position by house, by sign, by aspects. But the progressed moon is something like a temporary moon, one that starts its journey from birth, has a very interesting parallel to the transiting Saturn, as I have mentioned many times before, because they interestingly travel in a lockstep together, even though Saturn is a planet that actually moves in the sky and every now and then it goes back, it goes retrograde. If we look at longer periods of time, we will discover that the progressed moon and Saturn actually cover pretty much the same distance in the zodiac during the same period of time. And they both take approximately 28-30 years to make one full circle around the zodiac. So from birth, if you follow through, you will see that around your 28th year to the 30th, then around the 59th, 60th year, these two will be coming back to the same places where they started from, together simultaneously. Every square, every opposition, every conjunction that these two make to themselves, when I say to themselves, I mean to the original position of these two things in the chart, happens at the same time in life. So they are a very curious pair because they actually have nothing to do with each other in practice. The transiting Saturn is not related, it's not in any way affected by that factor that we call progressed moon. So I don't want to overcomplicate things, but the progressed moon travels very regularly. If you want to really check how someone's feeling in the moment that you find them, in the moment of a crisis or when advice is needed or support is needed, or even a very positive new project is about to be started, whatever we're trying to kind of witness, we can use the progressed moon as a sign of the state of emotions and the state of mind that this person is in this moment.